Hey everybody, this is Captain Yeet here for you celebrating the 11th anniversary of Avengers Age of Ultron. So let's get into it. Age of Ultron and Captain America Winter Soldier were my very first two MCU movies. All the MCU movies that came out before that, I never actually saw. I said this a few times on my videos, but when I was a kid and also in middle school, it was super rare if we ever went to the movie theaters to see a movie. Most of the time, well, never most of the time, like all the time, besides from like a couple movies, I will always think to myself whenever I see a movie trailer. I cannot wait to see that in Redbox. Redbox was the go-to. We used to always get movies out of Redbox. I mean, one random day in middle school, my mom had to go out of town for some reason, and all my sisters they were out the house doing stuff. So I was gonna be home alone for a couple hours while mom went out of town. So my mom rented me some movies, and she rented me well not rent a pizza, but she bought me some pizza. And when I went up to like the little Redbox thing to swipe through the movies, I was swiping and I couldn't find anything I wanted to watch until I saw Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier. And I knew those were like those Marvel movies that I always connected. I never saw anyone before that, but I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just start with these because these look kind of cool, like the little box art. So I got them. I went home, got the pizza, soda, watched it. I fell in love with it. I knew these Marvel characters beforehand because, as you can see, I'm a big Marvel fan. I grew up with like a lot of Marvel stuff before the MCU, so I knew most of these characters. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Like I loved Age of Ultron. This is my first Avengers movie too. That's funny. But I loved Age of Ultron. I loved Captain America Winter Soldier. After that, I kept with the MCU all the time. Every movie that came out, I'm on it, watching videos, interconnecting. Like I was on the MCU after that. And obviously, I had to go back and watch those first couple movies. I didn't do that for a long time. I didn't actually watch the first couple Marvel movies before Age of Ultron and Captain America Winter Soldier until my senior year of high school. We had this thing called the Marvel Movie Club. In the Marvel Movie Club, we watched all the Marvel movies. We got kicked off for COVID, so we got all the way up until I think we got until Civil War or we're about to watch Ragnarok before we had to get kicked out because of COVID. But yeah, we got pretty far in the MCU stuff. But that's the way I was able to see all the MCU movies before that came out before Age of Ultron. But let's get into the actual Age of Ultron. So like I said, I loved this movie when I first saw it. It like blew my mind. I thought it was so cool. I knew the characters beforehand from like Superhero Squad and some other stuff, but it was just so cool seeing all these characters interact, talk. The action was really cool. This wasn't my very first thing. I've heard of Ultron before this movie, but I never really actually seen him anything too crazy. I don't think he was in Superhero Squad, but this was like my first time seeing Ultron. Really, I didn't notice until like years later, but people didn't really like Age of Ultron. It still made a lot of money. It still made $1 billion. It's an Avengers movie, and it's a pretty good movie. But I didn't notice until years later because I wasn't in the news cycle and stuff when this movie was coming out. People didn't really like Age of Ultron. One main thing I was hearing from some videos I watched was it didn't really do the Age of Ultron story, which is true. In the comics, the Age of Ultron story, it was like well, it is an Avengers level threat, and obviously the Avengers are handling Ultron, but in the comics, it was way bigger. Like Ultron was such a problem. It was taking over the world. Like all the heroes in the comics had to come together. I think they had to do a little bit of time travel, didn't they? Like okay, like it got so bad they had to do a little bit of time travel. And the design of Ultron is a bit different from the comics to here. It still looks good, but it is a little bit different though. It is a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie. When Ultron first came into what's the word? I guess form. 'Cause remember when he like first awakened, he like quote unquote killed Jarvis, and then when he interrupted the Avengers party at Stark's house, remember he had like that broken up body of a Iron Legion. It kind of scared me a little bit. Not like shaking in my boots or I couldn't sleep, but it kind of creeped me out a little bit, especially when he started to sing Pinocchio and all that stuff. And I didn't really notice this until I was just looking at the movie just now. But when he first came into form, he was in that broken up Iron Legion body. And then at the very end of the movie, when he's in his last form, he's in a broken up Iron Legion body. Like I thought it was kind of cool how the parallels right there. But it was nice. One main thing with this movie, obviously, is Tony. I think in the comics Hank Pym makes Ultron, but Tony he makes Ultron. Now the reason why he was making Ultron wasn't a totally bad reason. Like I understand what he's trying to say. We need someone to help us with alien threats to where they can't even get close to Earth, like a blanket of iron around the world. It is true what Bruce was saying. It is a really cool world, but I get what Tony was trying to say. The thing that was really messing him up was he didn't want to talk to the Avengers about it. Now, obviously, yes, I know that he only had 3 days with the not the Tesseract, but the Loki scepter. He only had 3 days with that, and they don't get any longer and no less. so they don't really have a lot of time to debate and see if this is right. But the reason, I mean, part of it is yes, you don't want to take too much time debating, but at the same time, he knows how the debate is already going to go because it kind of seems kind of wild what's going to happen in the debate. And I mean, you see what happens with Ultron, and then even after seeing what happened with Ultron, you still want to do it again. I mean, also his fear is also complaining, not complaining, computing into his decision to make Ultron 2. I mean, he was thinking about Ultron for a while anyway, because that was like a program him and Bruce talked about. But also with Vision, in the on that, but his vision that Scarlet Witch gave him to scare him, obviously that's playing a part into making Ultron like gun ho. After seeing everything with Ultron, then you're instantly gonna go into making Vision after seeing that. Now, yes, he's like, I'm gonna put Jarvis in there. It's gonna be different. He's not gonna be Ultron. I also talked to the team and stuff about it. I love that scene too when they were like arguing about like they should like make Vision or not make Vision. They were fighting each other and like it was cool. It was really cool. Like the little fight scene. Bruce having his arm around Scarlet Witch. Like yeah, go ahead and make me mad because if he does, Hulk's gonna come out. Then Thor had to come in and make Vision. I like that. That was a really cool fight scene. And the two newest characters, besides from Ultron, obviously in this movie, is Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And that was like so funny because I watched Winter Soldier first, then Age of Ultron, and in Winter Soldier, the end credit scene. That was the end credit scene, wasn't it? With Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. God, I remember that. I remember the end credit scene. And then in the very next movie, boom, the end here. Scarlet Witch was a really. Oh no, actually, before I forget, was that a new actor at the very end of the movie? Remember at the very end of the movie when Bucky, sorry, not Bucky, Bucky, when Falcon, I meant to say Falcon, when Falcon, War Machine, Scarlet Witch, when they all came into like the Avengers compound to get trained by Captain America and Black Widow. I love Black Widow's outfit in this movie, like the blue highlights going down the suit. That looks so cool to me. I like that. But yeah, when they all came in to get trained, the actor for Scarlet Witch she looked totally different. Like to this day, I'm like, is that a new actor, or they just put like a mountain of makeup on her? Because that's like the only two explanations. That it was like a buttload of makeup to make her look totally different, or it's like a new actor just for this one scene. It has to be one of the. Oh, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anybody else. I mean, I even asked my friends this because when I saw the movie, I asked my friends, "Hey, have you seen these two movies?" Like, I thought they were so good. That's all I was talking about for a good little while. Like, have you seen these two movies? These were amazing. And I also asked them, was that new actor for Scarlet Witch? Cause you guys know what I'm talking about, right? When she like floated down when Captain America was like Avengers. He didn't say it, but I'm like, she looks different, man. I don't, I don't know. I'm just like complaining on this one scene, but I was like so confused. While I'm talking, I'm doing I saw a few cool scenes. Here's one where they were doing the triple like beam on Ultron, melting his skin. I mean, that was cool. Well, I guess not melting the skin, but melting the metal, melting the metal up there. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I love that scene so much. But what's the oh yeah, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Scarlet Witch was cool in this movie. Obviously, they have a really good reason to hate Tony slash the Avengers right now because when they were kids, Stark's missiles that he made back in the day during Iron Man 1 and before that, they blew up the house that they were in Sokovia. It killed their parents, and then one other missile came right next to them, and it never blew up. It never blew up, and they were just waiting for it to blow up until they got rescued. So yeah, they got a decent reason. They got a decent reason to hate Tony and the side of Ultron. Ultron did make me a little nervous too whenever I saw him during the movie, especially when that was such a cold scene. Y'all know the scene when he's talking to Black Widow. He goes like, "The man said, what doesn't kill you?" And then his old body, no, his new body came in, destroyed his old body, and then his new body walked up, makes you stronger. I was okay, that was cool. And it kind of shocked me though. I was not expecting that, but that was pretty cool. I like that. But Scarlet Witch was a cool character. Now, Quicksilver, he was dope. I loved Quicksilver. I was so mad when they killed him. I kept thinking they were going to bring him back some way. Obviously, the only way they could bring him back was when Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness came out. I thought that's when they were going to bring him back. I was like, oh, they're doing the multiverse. Yeah, they're going to bring him back in this movie. And, in the big component of Multiverse of Madness is Wanda. Okay. No, that didn't happen. And then in WandaVision, he came back, but it was the actor from the X-Men movies of Quicksilver, not Pedro, the Quicksilver in this movie. I love this actor so much. I really hope he comes back in maybe Doomsday or Secret Wars because he was really funny and really cool. And I also loved the little rivalry he had with Hawkeye. I really like Hawkeye too when they just kept saying, "What? You didn't see that coming?" Because he said it to Hawkeye when he hit him in the beginning of the movie. He said it back to him when he shot through the glass to make him fall when they were like arguing to make Vision or not. I remember also when he hit him when they were fighting in Ulysses Claw's boat. He was like, "Yeah, you better run," when he knocked him over. But the funniest scene, I mean, the funniest scene, I was like cracking up when I saw this for the first time, is when he grabbed Wanda. I mean, that was a nice moment too, when he was like, "Hey man, look, I know this is crazy. The city that we're in is floating. I'm a guy with a bow and arrow. It doesn't make sense, but I'm doing this because it's my job. If you can't handle this, that's fine. Just wait here. I'll get your brother to come get you. But if you walk out those doors, you're an Avenger." And then she finally came out and she had the confidence. Like that was a sweet little scene. That was a sweet little scene. But Pedro came over, grabbed Wanda, and kept it moving. And he said, "Keep up, old man." He pulled his bow and arrow out. He said, "No one know, nobody." Well, last I saw, Ultron was sitting on him, man. I mean, he will be missed. He was. I know it doesn't sound that funny me saying it, but I'm telling you, when I first saw that, I was on the floor. I was cracking up, boy. I was cracking up so much when I first saw that. That little rivalry they had was sweet, especially at the end. Now, Quicksilver is quick enough. Oh, he's not the flyest level, but he is quick enough to dodge bullets. Like, why didn't they have that happen? Or just have him get, maybe if you wanted to get shot a few times, then maybe. Oh, that was a deleted scene too. When on Wanda and Pedro was arguing, so like, "You're gonna get shot." And he does get shot in the arm when they say hold fire. But I was like, what? Man, I was so upset when he died. And that was such a tough scene when Ultron had the well, no, was it called the Quinjet, right? The Quinjet, and he had the minigun going crazy, and Hawkeye had that kid, and he saw it coming in. There's no way he can get out of it, so he just got a really serious look on. He was gonna, take the brunt of the bullets to protect the kid he was holding, and then nothing happened. And but when he was like, bracing for impact, you saw like the little trail. I like that too. Whenever Quicksilver ran, I'm almost saw a scene too, but whenever Quicksilver runs or ran, it was the same thing. Whenever he runs, you see like that little blur trail behind him, which looks really cool. But yeah, whenever he runs, you see that happen, and it hits him, and he turns around, he's like filled with bullets. He goes, "What? You didn't see that coming?" And he flops over. I was like, "Oh my goodness, man." I was so upset. Oh, I was so upset when it happened. Here's another really cool scene near the end of the movie when they're fighting on the Ultron box to make sure they don't touch the drill, because if they do, well then everything's going bye bye. Everything's going bye bye if that happens. Oh, well, come on! The scene when they're trying to lift the hammer, everybody's doing a competition for it, and when Cap does it, it just slightly budges. When Bruce does it, he pretends to go Hulk. Everybody's looking like what? And the fight they did inside of his house, of Stark's house, it was a cool fight. They were just using what they had on them. I love the scene when Hawkeye grabbed the shield. It was like, "Yo, Cap!" Threw it at Cap. He grabs it midair, spins around, throws it at an Ultron bod. Then they had a little downtime at Hawkeye's little farmhouse with his family, off the grid. And Hawkeye's wife was like, Velma was like, he goes, "You don't think they need me?" "No, I think they do need you. And that's what scares me. You got to make sure you're going to be okay, that they have your back, because look at these guys. They're a mess." And he goes, "Yeah, I know, but they're my mess." A little downtime was really sweet. What was it? Tony was like, "Yeah, these are smaller agents." Thor broke that little toy and swept it under the swept it under the table. Cat when he like ripped the log in half. That was dope. That was a simple scene. That was really cool. I like this movie a lot. This was such a good movie. My first Avengers movie too. Whenever I think about it, it's just so funny. I never even really saw the first Avengers, even till this day. Even when I was in Marvel Movie Club, I think I saw some of it, but I couldn't get it in time. One time, I'm gonna do an anniversary video for that. I'm gonna make sure to watch the movie in full. 'Cause I never actually watched the movie in full all the way. The only Avengers movie I never actually watched in full all the way, which is wild. I remember there were so many theories that Ultron might be coming back. I remember some people were saying that Vision didn't actually kill Ultron all the way. Obviously, maybe Ultron might have put his mind, as data, into something else the way he can come back one day. I know there's a Disney cruise. Oh, obviously there's a Disney cruise, but on one of the Disney cruises, there's like this. hypothetical what if video of some Marvel characters like Miss Marvel, Ant Man, and stuff fighting Ultron. I don't know how they explain Ultron comes back in that little video. Like I've seen some clips of it on people's phone. I never actually been on the cruise with yeah, I never actually been on the cruise watching the video myself. But it's like a little video of like what if Ultron comes back and he does, and they have to fight him off and take him out, which is that is pretty cool. You know, some of the a lot of the new characters helping fight him too. But yeah, no, he's in the regular MCU story. He's not back. He's not back at all. No, but that was kind of funny. The little fight scene they were doing in Sokovia, and that's such a cool what's the word, aesthetic. That's just a cool aesthetic to fight on a floating island. And I love how they're constantly fighting the robots and stuff, and they're also trying to figure out a way to take out the island so it doesn't like explode the world, because it said it's going to make a meteor to take out everything. And that was a pretty intense scene. Took it in my first one of my first tomorrow movies. I'm like, ain't no way they're about to die, right? 'Cause before Fury showed up with the helicarrier, they were like, I mean, they can't really figure out a way to destroy this rock without killing people, so they're gonna have to just destroy it, and they're gonna have to be on top of it and dying. And Black Widow's like, well, it's not such a bad view, it'll be nice. I was like, what? Ain't no way these jokers. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, obviously, if I was watching it back then, like, ain't no way they're gonna kill him. They just announced like three more movies, but at the time, I was like, what? Ain't no way these jokers about to die. I was, I was freaking out a little bit. I was getting kind of nervous. I was nervous that they're gonna die on this island, but no, that's not what happened. That's not what happens. Oh, actually, I'm gonna pull up another scene, but it's gonna take me a little second. So let me pause the video really quickly. For you, it's like 1 second. For me, it's gonna be like a minute or so. Okay, I'm back. So that little running gag throughout the movie, when in the very beginning of the movie, when Iron Man cussed when he like I remember they were raiding the Hydra base to get Loki's scepter, and there was like a barrier on the building. So when Stark hit it, he cussed, and when he did that, Captain America said "language," and there was like a running gag every time somebody cussed. Oh, Cap, you hit it, Cap. That was funny. That beginning fight was so dope because I already saw Captain America Civil War. I watched that first before I popped in the disc for Age of Ultron. I remember after I was done watching both, I went into my family. My sister got back home by now. I said, "Yo, have y'all seen these? Y'all want to watch these?" I was so happy. I was like, "Y'all gotta look at these. These are so dope, man." Like, how old are you guys? Well, my three oldest sisters were old enough. My little one was it because it was like PG-13. She wasn't 13. I'm like, you can't watch it. It's so cool. You can't watch it. But anyway, that beginning fight was so dope. Just seeing everybody, and I was really confused because I knew of the Hulk. Obviously, I know of Superhero Squad. It was like a kid show, but most of the time, Hulk's supposed to be going crazy, and I kept thinking every time they let the Hulk out, wouldn't it be possibility that he can like attack the Avengers? Like I was really confused watching the beginning of the movie when he was like just attacking the Hydra base. Well, I knew the Hydra base people were attacking him, so obviously he's gonna attack them. But I was like, yeah, couldn't he just turn around and attack the Avengers? And that little, the something getting real low. I did not expect that. That really surprised me. That was wild. But yeah, that was the beginning fight was dope. Captain America throwing his motorcycle at a truck. He grabbed this one dude who was dragging him and just threw him at a tree. He was not playing around. The end credit scene with Thanos, that was cool. I was like, what is going on? Remember, it was like a bunch of noise of a black screen, but Thanos came out, grabbed the Infinity Gauntlet. That was really cool. Obviously, one of the biggest moments in the movie, or probably the biggest, the Hulk versus the Hulk Buster. I mean, yo, that went crazy. Oh yeah, Vision grabbing Mjolnir. And I noticed this too. He was like, well, I don't really have a fuel fire way, not fuel fire, what's the word? A surefire way for to have you guys to trust me, but we have to go. As soon as he says that I don't have like a concrete way for you guys to trust me, he grabs the hammer. I was like, I don't know if he knows what the worthiness and stuff, but I mean, that's a pretty good way to see that you trust someone. They can wield the hammer. Not a really bad person can be able to wield this hammer. Well, I have heard Doctor Doom was able to do in the comics with like a loophole. I don't know what the loophole was, but I heard he was able to do it with a loophole. But that's a good way to to see if you can trust somebody. They can wield the hammer. I mean, that's pretty good. But the Hulk versus the Hulk Buster, Wanda, got into his mind. He starts going crazy in that one random city. He bring up the Hulk Buster, and they bring it up too, Veronica. That's what it's called. I thought it was also really cool too watching it because he has that really big machine flying off to the side while he's fighting the Hulk because obviously it's the Hulk. yes, this Hulkbuster is made to counter him, but it's still it's still the Hulk. He was able to rip apart the Hulkbuster pretty easily. So every time he rips off an arm or something on the back, that big machine flying off to the side will shoot out new parts for him to put on. Throughout the fight, he was able to destroy it. So that's pretty bad. But that's good though. That's pretty good. Here's a really cool scene of Quicksilver running. We see that really cool trail that shows up behind him. Like I love that trail that shows up behind Quicksilver. That's so dope. Why did they kill him, man? Oh, I loved him. So I want him to come back so badly. I love this actor. I was arguing with one of my friends one day. He likes the actor from the X Men movies, like Days of Future Past. He was in Apocalypse. Like he's not a bad actor. It was a really cool Quicksilver, but I like this one. He was so dope. Like he was so cool to me. I loved him so much. It just sucked that they killed him like that, especially since in the Age of Future Past movie, I mean Days of Future Past movie, he was able to dodge multiple bullets. This and in Apocalypse, the X Mansion explodes and he runs throughout the whole X Mansion, grabs everybody, and is able to throw them out of there before the explosion kills them. Obviously, that's the kind of speed Quicksilver has. I mean, this Quicksilver has it too, but the fact he wasn't able to, to dodge the bullets and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, that's a big point people bring up all the time. I love that one scene. It had me cracking up where Ultron was like talking smack to the Avengers through the Ultron bots. And while he was doing it, I don't know why they don't bring this technology back for Cap, but in the beginning of the movie, also later on in the movie, they have this like magnet thing on Cap's arm to where he's able to call the shield back to him. It's not like he can call it back to him when it's like super far away, because whenever he does it, it's usually like right at his feet, and then he just goes like this, and then you see like these two things beep and glow on his arm, and it just comes up. It's not like his shield will be way over here and it can like come, but that's still a cool thing to have. And he does it like once or twice in this movie, but I don't remember ever seeing that again in any other MCU movie after Age of Ultron. That's pretty cool. But anyway, he's talking smack to the Avengers, and Cap throws his shield into an Ultron bot, and while he's talking, he calls it back to him, grabs it. The Ultron bot falls off the island. He goes, "What? You didn't finish. I didn't. I didn't hear you, buddy." Or when Cap and Thor did that combo move when he well, I might have saw one combo move here too when he hit the shield and went flying. But in the beginning of the movie, he goes, "Hey, are they lining up? What are excited?" He hits it and it does the shockwave. The like Stan Lee cameo was pretty funny when him and some of the army buddies were like, "Come on, Blondie, give us that alcohol from Asgard. It ain't nothing." They couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it at all. Or War Machine telling his war stories. He said, "I got a tank." Put at the president's feet and said, "Boom, looking for this?" Thor said, "That's the whole story." And then when he told it to a new group of people, they were all laughing and like, "Yo, you're so cool." You're like, "Yeah, yeah, I know." Yeah, like, that kind of story to the Avengers is like a Tuesday, It's like, you grabbed the tank, okay. It was whatever. Or when Tony and Thor was like arguing about who girlfriend is the best. Like I said, I already like the party scenes. Them just talking naturally and partying, trying to grab the hammer. What's another really dope scene and moment in this movie? When he was talking to Scarlet Witch, I didn't feel not sad, but it was kind of sad to see him sad because at the end of the movie, he was really sad when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver was betraying him. He was like, "Please, please don't do that." You can hear the sadness in his voice. Also, when he kidnapped Black Widow and she woke up, and he was like, see, look at. He was like trying to show her everything that he was doing, and while he was saying that, he goes, "I have no one left." Like he really, like you can hear the sadness in his voice of the fact that they left him and he had nobody else to talk to or to be with. I mean, he was about to destroy the planet. I know he was like, this is evolution. That was somewhat of a cold line when he said, "Whenever the Earth starts to settle, God throws a rock at it, and trust me, he's winding up." Or he also says, "You Avengers, you want to keep peace in the world, but you don't want the world to change, and that's why you guys have to die." Like he had a few bangers. He had a few banging lines in the movie. I'm not gonna lie. He was cool. One attack I love. Here's the really cool scene when they do the combo move when they throw the shield up in the air, and this is taking too long a little bit. Okay, there we go. That was not gonna lie. That was taking a little longer than I thought. I didn't put it at the right moment. Hopefully that's okay. Um, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, one move I really liked that he had that was really cool to me, besides from like his multi finger blast that he did, it was whenever he Is it Gravity? It's like that Gravity movie he has, to where he'll like shoot out this like clear energy, and he can like somewhat control gravity. Because when Black Widow was on the motorcycle, that was when I'm always picking up after you boys. But when she was on the motorcycle running after the truck that Cap was fighting Ultron on, um he like went like this, and then a huge chunk of the ground just levitated off, like it, like he ripped it out of the ground without touching it, and so he had like, hit the brakes. And there was other moments to where, yeah, when he was fighting Tony back at the boat, at Ulysses Claw's boat, he like went like this, and you hear like the roar, and you see him get pulled towards Tony, or he'll like grab stuff and like throw it, like that little gravity move he had. That was pretty cool. I like the little gravity move that he had. That was dope. Oh yeah, and that one moment, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, yo, when when he said that one quote from Tony, he said, "Well, keep your friends rich and your enemies rich, and you see which is which." And he was like, "What?" Stark used to say that to me. You're one of his. And Ultron got super mad. He goes, "What? I'm not one of his. I'm not some robot, some toy." And he grabbed his arm and chopped it off. He said, "Oh, oof. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." I was like, everybody like, come on, you can't say sorry for chopping my arm off. Like what? That one moment when Quicksilver ran into like the hospital place, they're like, evacuate, you have to go. They didn't listen to him. He ran back with that gun and started blasting the roof. He goes, "What do you got? What did I just say?" And they ran out. I always put the cinema sins because I used to love watching cinema sins when I was in middle school. I watched them all the time for any type of movie to see what they were critique on, and it used to crack me up too. I still watch them now, not as much as I used to, but I still watch them now. They're still a good YouTuber. It's just funny whenever they come up with something like, come on, like you get mad at that, or sometimes what they say is funny. But I remember Age of Ultron was one of the movies I used to rewatch on Cinema Sins all the time. Like it was all the time. I used to rewatch that one, not one part, but that one video. I used to just rewatch it all the time. It was somewhat funny, the stuff they were saying, and I don't know why. It was that movie, and what was the other one? Monsters Inc. It was that movie and Monsters. No, 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 no. Sorry, Monsters University. Those are like the top two ones I'll just always go back to and just have its background noise, like just actually watch. I don't know why, but those like the top two. I used to always just listen to this movie and Monsters University. Not Inc. Here's the cool scene when he like killed his old self and came out. Just makes me stronger. I was like, what? He think he cool. He think he's so cool. I wouldn't mind if Ultron does come back. I doubt he'll come. I mean, unless he comes back as like a random villain to fight against in Doomsday or not Age of Ultron, in Doomsday or Secret Wars. It'd be kind of cool. But if he does come back, it'll probably be. It's not confirmed, but there are a lot of rumors that the world is going to reset after Secret Wars, which would make sense. And he could come back again in that movie. I mean, not in that movie, in a movie after that, which would be pretty cool. There are like two more scenes I do want to show. One specifically is Cap fighting Ultron when they were like in the city trying to make sure he doesn't grab the when he was making Vision's body, he was making sure he doesn't obviously download his body into Vision's body. That was dope. That fight scene with him was really cool. I loved it so much. And but other than that, I think that's about it. I guess the other. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I was talking about all the newest characters. I forgot to mention obviously Vision. He's like one of the biggest new characters too. I never really heard of Vision that much before this movie. I thought Vision was pretty cool. Obviously, him being able to wield Mjolnir was kind of dope. That combo move, not a combo move, but when Ultron was choking out Thor, and he was like, "Are you ready?" And Vision had Mjolnir and swung it and hit him. He goes, "Wow, this thing is terribly off balance." Well, yeah, if you have too much weight, it can't really give a lot of power on the swing. But yeah, Vision was cool. I really liked Vision throughout the movies. It sucked that he died. I'm telling you, when he died in Infinity War, when Thanos yanked the stone out, my stomach was turning, boy. It was just the fact that when he killed him, remember he turned gray and he threw his body to the side, and the camera stayed on his lifeless body, all grayed out with the giant hole in his head. It stayed on his body for like maybe 3 to 4 seconds. Like, it didn't stay on there for too long, but just seeing that huge hole in his head and just his body grayed out, my stomach started turning. I was like, oh my goodness. Here's a really cool scene where Cap was fighting Ultron. Like, come on, man. And then when he got his shield back, he said, come on. He started going crazy. I remember like I was like, Cap, you can't beat him. Thanks for the confidence, man. Thanks. Thanks. That was a real confidence booster just then. He told me I can't do this. That was funny, man. That was funny. Let me pause the video really quickly, get the other scenes up, and then we'll be done with the movie. Okay, I'm back. There's another scene I do want to bring up. When I first watched this for the very first time, I was really confused. I was like, what is he talking about? I understand what he's trying to say now. On my very first time watching the movie, I was like, what? What is Black Widow on? Because throughout the movie, I think even what were they flirting before this movie? I think they were a tiny bit, right? But in this movie, Bruce and Natasha they're flirting a little bit. You can tell they liked each other. That was a little funny when Hawkeye's wife brought that up, like hey, they how long has the whole Black Widow and Hulk thing been going on? Hawkeye was like, what? What are you talking about? I'll tell you when you're older. Like you can't tell. Like that was funny. Or even when Cap was like, "Come on, Cap could notice it," and he was like, "Hey, on the guy that has the award for waiting too long, don't. You both deserve this." Like that. That was sweet. But anyway, like I said, they've been flirting throughout the movie. When they get to Hawkeye's house, they're flirting, and Hulk, he's trying to tell Natasha that, obviously he likes her, but we can't do anything long term. Like having this, what Hawkeye has, a nice family home with kids running around and stuff he can't have that. Like biologically, he can't. I mean, I guess he kind of can because we know he has the kid now. But even before that, I mean, I didn't see why. I mean, I guess it would kind of be like the Spider-Man situation. Got on the comics when he gets. Well, actually, he has a kid in some comics. I wonder how they got around that. Maybe they just took that out of his lore. But I think one time when he tries to have a kid with his girl, I think it was specifically Mary Jane. I think it killed her because his fluids are radioactive. 'Cause remember, he got bit by a radioactive spider, so his fluids are radioactive too. And obviously, you can't take radiation inside of your body if you're not Spider Man or somebody like the Hulk. So I guess he has sort of like gamma stuff in his fluids too. But he like, Natasha, I can't have kids with you. We can't have like a normal family life. And she goes, well, I can't have kids anyway. Because in the red room, whenever we graduate, they, she says sterilize. I guess, I don't know what that exactly means, but obviously I understand that's something to do with you can't have kids for some reason. But they sterilize you. So that's one less thing to worry about while you're fighting out there killing people. And she was like, you're not the only monster. I don't know why, but when she said that, I was like, what? What is he talking about? You're not a monster. Hulk's the monster. I mean, yeah, it sucks you can't have kids. That doesn't make you a monster. I get what he's trying to say, but at the moment, my very first time watching it, I was like, what is he talking about? It's like, I was so confused. I was like, what? When I think about it, I'm like, wow, I was dumb. But I do understand what he's trying to say. I really do. I really do. I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything. I was like, what in the world? Um, I thought Falcon came in to help during the Ultron stuff, but now it was just War Machine. Obviously, he was really happy that he was like having another War Machine story. It was funny when he saw Vision doing his thing. He was like, "What in the? What is happening? What? Like, this is ridiculous." He has another really cool scene I want to show with the Hulk versus the Hulk Buster. I mean, come on, this looks so good. It sucked they didn't bring it out for more times in the movies because the Hulk Buster is so cool looking. Hopefully, they bring it out like during Doomsday or Secret Wars because it just looks so cool. I really hope they bring this up more. When he was like, "Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep." It's funny. When he punched him so hard, his tooth come out. He said, "I'm sorry." And then Hulk was punching him so hard. He was like punching him upwards. That's how hard Hulk was punching Iron Man when he Hulk was not playing around, boy. Look at this. He goes, I'm sorry. He was punching him so hard, he was going upwards. And I used to defend this all the time because people are like, how did the Hulk Buster beat the Hulk? What's going on? I used to say, I mean, some people said this online too. I used to say it all the time also that you saw that after Iron Man threw the Hulk through that building and he got up, the Scarlet Witch stuff kind of came off his body. Also, he was looking around and he was looking really sad, all the people running away injured, scared. Obviously, the Hulk's not about to do that. Maybe like new Hulk and Ragnarok and stuff, but this Hulk is not about to do that. So him looking all scared and stuff is like, huh? I guess that's like Bruce coming more out into the Hulk, and it was the Bruce personality, so we'll take it over. And then you saw as when he was done feeling sad, he was about to start going crazy again, but he knocked him out only because it was Bruce sort of in the body and not the Hulk, which does make sense. The little not flashback scenes. I guess the vision scenes that the whole group was seeing when Scarlet Witch like took over their minds. That was really cool. Captain America back in the day at like a party, Thor with his people getting the vision about the Infinity Stones. So when he saw the Infinity Stones in the pool vision, when he got into that water, then you saw like that cosmic Infinity Gauntlet. That looked really cool. To toss it back in the Red Room. I didn't really understand it too much. I didn't really, I mean, I kind of knew the characters, but had the whole backstory when I saw the Red Room. I was like, huh, I wonder what that is. That's pretty interesting. That's kind of cool. But yeah, that's about it. There's one more scene I do want to show at the very beginning of the movie. Obviously, when they were going crazy at the winter base. But other than that, that would be Avengers: Age of Ultron. I remember I saw a post. I was thinking about it a lot. Oh, I love that part. It was like Wakanda. Iron Man instantly looked at Cap. Was like, what? I thought your dad said you had the last of it. Like, oh, they knew. What? Vibranium. Vibranium's in Wakanda. But I remember I saw this one post. I was like, I guess that is kind of true. They said after Endgame, nobody can just have a regular Avengers movie anymore, like Age of Ultron. Like people are gonna want, bigger and bigger and bigger now. So we can never have like a little. I mean, not saying Ultron's cozy, but it's not Endgame or anything like that. Like we can never have another movie like that. It has to be bigger and bigger ever since that. Which after Secret Wars, obviously not another Avengers movie isn't gonna get that big for a while. I doubt. I'm assuming like on the money. I'm assuming I'm on the money that the next Avengers movie after Secret Wars, it's definitely gonna be what's another big apocalypse? That's the only other character I can think of like Avengers Apocalypse. I can see that the X-Men villain. After that, I mean, they could bring Kang. Like if they ever do bring Kang back, that's probably like the next sort of Infinity War type of movie that's could come out after Secret Wars or another Endgame type of level. If they ever bring Kang back after this, I don't know. I guess like a Avengers Galactic or Galactus, like a Galactus type of thing. Or no, actually, you know what they should do? You know what they should do? They should definitely make an Avengers Secret Invasion movie, but do Secret Invasion how it's supposed to be. Cause that's like an Avengers level type of thing. They kind of just did like a little TV show. Now the first few episodes were really good. I liked them. Near the end, yeah, Secret Wars did. It went down. Secret Wars went down near the end. But they should do Secret Wars how it's supposed to be, like an Avengers Secret Wars. They should definitely do that after Secret Wars. Wait, am I saying that right? Secret Invasion. Sorry, they should definitely do a Secret Invasion movie with the Skrulls, like the right way after Secret Wars in the new universe. If that is going to happen, that would be so dope to see a Secret Invasion movie done right. They need to do that. That's like, come on, Avengers Apocalypse and Avengers Secret Invasion. Those are like the two we need. Those are the two movies we need, boy. That's gonna go crazy. And I got the very last scene up for you guys. Oh, actually, oh, I forgot. Sorry about that. I completely forgot the Thor and Captain America team up scene. I love this part so much. I mean, I used to hype this up all the time when me and my friend used to argue in middle school about Cap versus Iron Man in Civil War. I was like, Cap is strong enough to withstand Thor, the God of Thunder, hitting his shield. I was like, what can Iron Man do to that? Like, I used to hype this up so much. He was Team Iron Man, I was Team Cap. We used to argue, but this is like one point I used to bring up all the time. Like, he could withstand that? Iron Man can't do that. you know, just trying to bring up anything. I'm just trying to say anything for you, which is hilarious. Okay, and I think I have the scene right here. Yep, with all the Avengers. This was so dope seeing this for the first time. I was like, oh my goodness, all them jumping and going. I like Hawkeye's outfit too for Age of Ultron. His outfit was so dope. See, look at that. Oh, just going crazy. I love it, man. I love it. Okay, but yeah, that's Avengers Age of Ultron. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think you all let me woman human beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, bye-bye. Actually, I gotta end it on the Avengers. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna end it on that shot of the Avengers jumping. Because I've done that for the other two Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War. I had always ended it on something on the screen. So let me just make sure I get it on the end button so I don't play for too long. And here we go. All right then. Avengers Age of Ultron. So dope, boy.